Stop for one moment. I want to ask you something. And I want you to answer honestly, not to me, but to yourself. Have you ever started learning English and then stopped? Have you ever practiced for a few days, waited for something to change, felt nothing and quietly walked away? Have you ever sat alone and thought maybe I am just not the kind of person who can do this? Maybe my English will never really improve. Maybe it is too late for me. If your answer is yes, this episode is for you. Because I want to tell you something that nobody told you before. Something important. Something true. The problem was never your intelligence. It was never your age. It was never your accent, your background, or the country you live in. The problem was never you. The problem was this: you were never shown how real change actually works. You were never told that progress is quiet before it is loud. You were never told that the days when nothing feels different are the days when everything is changing. You were never told that small is not weak. Small, repeated every single day, is the most powerful force in the world. Today I am going to show you exactly why. We are going to talk about one idea. One simple, deep, life-changing idea. It comes from a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And by the end of this episode, you will never look at your small daily choices the same way again. Not your English practice. Not your habits. Not your future. Everything starts with one small step. And that step starts right now. Welcome back to Repeat English Lab 285. Let us begin. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Repeat English Lab 285. Before we begin today's episode, I want to stop for a moment. I want to say something from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back, episode after episode. You did not have to. But you did. And that means everything to us. Every time you press play, every time you share our episodes, every time you return, you help Repeat English Lab 285 grow. So, truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Now, let's talk about today's episode. Today, I want to share a book with you. A book that I believe can change the way you think. Not just about English, but about your whole life. The book is called The Compound Effect. The author is Darren Hardy. So, what is this book about? It is about small things. Small choices. Small actions. Small habits. Small decisions. The kind of things we do every single day, without thinking, without noticing, without realizing how powerful they really are. At first, these small things look unimportant. They look too simple, too easy, too small to matter. But here is the truth. Over time, they become incredibly powerful. The main idea of the book is this. Small actions, repeated for a long time, create big results. That is the compound effect. The word compound means something that grows by building on itself. One small action creates a small result. Then another small action adds to it. Then another. And another. And slowly, without you even noticing, the result becomes much bigger than you ever expected. Let me give you an example. Think about learning English. If you listen to English for 10 minutes today, maybe nothing special happens. You do not suddenly become fluent. You do not suddenly understand every movie. You do not suddenly speak perfectly. And that is okay. Because one day is not the point. But what if you listen for 10 minutes every single day for 1 year? Everything changes. Your ears become stronger. Your vocabulary grows. Your pronunciation improves. Your confidence grows. Your English becomes different because you became different. That is the compound effect working quietly in the background. Now think about money. If you save $1 today, it looks like nothing. $2. $5. Still nothing. Not exciting. Not impressive. But after 1 year, after 2 years, after 5 years, it becomes something real. Something you can feel. Something you can use. The money grew because you kept adding to it. Small amount by small amount. Day by day. This is the compound effect. But here is the difficult part. Small actions do not give big results immediately. You do not see the change right away. And this is exactly why so many people stop. They study English for 3 days and say, I am not fluent yet. They exercise for 1 week and say, my body has not changed. They read for 2 nights and say, I am not smarter. They post 5 videos and say, my channel is not growing. And so they stop. They give up. They walked away right before the results were about to appear. My friends, the compound effect does not work like magic. It does not work fast. It works slowly. It works quietly. It works in the background while you sleep, while you rest, while you continue. At first, you cannot see it. But something is always happening. Your brain is learning. Your body is adapting. Your habits are growing stronger. Your identity is slowly changing. This book teaches us one very important lesson: respect small actions. Most people only respect big things. Big motivation. Big change. Big success. Big results. Big moments. We are taught to look for the dramatic, exciting, the fast. But life is mostly made of small moments. What do you do in the morning? What you eat? What you listen to? What you read? What you repeat? What you say yes to is important. What do you say no to? These small, quiet, ordinary choices, they are creating your future. Every single day. Now, there is another important idea in this book. And I want you to think about this carefully. It is the idea of personal responsibility. Responsibility means you accept that your choices matter. Now, this does not mean everything is your fault. Life is not always fair. Some people have more opportunities. Some people carry more problems. Some people start with more support. Some people start with almost nothing. That is real, and that is true. But the book says this: focus on what you can control. You cannot control everything. But you can control your next choice. You can control whether you open a lesson today. You can control whether you speak one sentence. You can control whether you return after a difficult day. And that right there is where your power lies. When you say, nothing is in my control, you feel small. You feel stuck. You feel like nothing you do matters. But when you say, this small choice is in my control, something changes inside you. You feel stronger. You feel awake. You feel ready. For English learners, this idea is very important. Maybe you cannot move to an English-speaking country. Maybe you cannot study for 4 hours every day. Maybe you do not have a native speaker sitting beside you, but you can listen for 10 minutes. You can repeat 5 sentences. You can write 3 lines. You can speak for 1 minute out loud. You can choose a podcast instead of doing nothing. Small control is still control. And small control, repeated every day, becomes a big change. The compound effect also teaches patience. Real patience. Not the kind where you just wait. The kind where you work and wait at the same time. Think about a seed. You do not plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You plant it. You water it. You protect it. You come back the next day and do it again. For a long time, you see nothing. Just soil. Just silence. But under the surface, something is growing. Then one day, a small green sign appears. Then it grows more. Then more. Then, slowly, it becomes a tree. Your habits are like seeds. Your practice is the water. Your patience is the sunlight. Without all three, the seed cannot grow. And this is why consistency is the real secret. Consistency does not mean being perfect. It means showing up again and again, even when it is hard, even when you are tired, even when you cannot see results yet. My friends, you do not need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Many people fail not because they are lazy, but because they think too much about perfection. They miss one day and say, everything is ruined. But missing one day is not the problem. The problem is when one missed day becomes one missed week. And one missed week becomes one missed month. The real skill, is to return quickly. Miss one day of English. Return the next day. Miss one workout. Return the next day. Make one bad choice. Make the next choice better. Do not turn one small mistake into a big story about who you are. Do not say, I failed. Say, I missed one day. Now I am back. That is a powerful sentence. That is the sentence of someone who keeps growing. So, in today's episode, we are going to talk about small choices, habits, tracking, momentum, influences, goals, and consistency. As always, I will use simple English. I will repeat the important ideas. And I will make everything as clear as possible. Because the main lesson of this book is simple, but it is also extremely deep. Your life is not changed by one big moment. It is changed by what you repeat every day. Your English is not built in one great session. It is built by what you hear, repeat, and practice every day. Your confidence is not born in one perfect speech. It is born every time you try. Your future is being built right now by the small choices you are making today. So choose one small good action. Do it today. Then do it again tomorrow. And the day after. That, my friends, is how big change begins. Now let's talk about the next big idea in the book, choice. Every day, we make many choices. Some feel big and important, choosing a job, choosing a course, choosing a relationship, choosing a city, choosing a goal. And yes, those choices matter. But we also make hundreds of small choices every single day. We choose what to do when we wake up. We choose what to watch. We choose what to eat. We choose what to read. We choose who to talk to. We choose what to think about. We choose whether to practice or to delay. We choose whether to complain or to take action. These small choices look tiny. They feel insignificant. but they are not tiny when repeated. One small choice may not change your life today, but the same small choice, made every day, can completely change your direction. Let me show you with an example. Imagine two English learners. Same level. Both are 2. Both want to improve. Both have the same dreams. The first learner decides to listen to English for just 15 minutes every day. Not much. Just 15 minutes. The second learner says, I will study when I have more time. After 1 week, they look the same. After 1 month, the difference is small. But after 1 year, the difference is enormous. The first learner has listened for hundreds of hours. Their ears have heard thousands of sentences. Their brain has recognized hundreds of patterns. Their vocabulary has grown quietly and steadily. The second learner, still waiting, still looking for the perfect time. This, my friends, is the compound effect of choice. Small, good choices build a better future. Small, bad choices build problems. But here is the thing. Bad choices are usually easy. They are comfortable. They feel good right now, in this moment. Good choices, on the other hand, are often a little harder. They require a little more effort, a little more patience, a little more discipline. Think about it. Scrolling on your phone is easy. Practicing English is harder. Eating unhealthy food feels good now. Eating well takes more effort now. Spending money feels exciting now. Saving money feels boring now. But the future tells a very different story. Bad choices often feel good now and hurt later. Good choices often feel difficult now and help later. Read that again. Let it stay with you for a moment. This is one of the most important ideas in the whole book. The compound effect asks you to stop looking only at how something feels right now. It asks you to look further. It asks you to ask one powerful question. What will this choice create if I repeat it? If I repeat this habit for 1 year, where will I be? If I keep thinking this way for 1 year, how will I feel? If I keep this English practice for 1 year, how will my level change? This question is powerful because it reveals the future that is hiding inside today. Most people only see today. They say, it is only 1 day. It is only 1 snack. It is only 1 missed lesson. It is only 1 small bad habit. And yes, 1 time is not everything. 1 bad day does not destroy you. But 1 time can become a pattern. A pattern becomes a lifestyle. And a lifestyle becomes a result. Now, this does not mean you must be strict every single second. Life needs rest. Life needs joy. Life needs flexibility. The book is not telling you to never enjoy anything. That is not the message. The message is simpler than that. Be awake. Notice your choices. Do not live on automatic mode. Automatic mode means you do things without thinking. You open your phone without thinking. You eat without thinking. You say yes without thinking. You delay without thinking. You repeat old habits not because you chose them, but because they have become automatic. They happen on their own while you are not paying attention. To change your life, you need to become more conscious. Conscious means awake and aware. It means you begin to ask yourself small but powerful questions. What am I doing right now? Why am I doing this? Is this helping me move forward? is this pulling me back? What is the next better choice I can make? This is not about guilt. Guilt makes you feel heavy and small. Awareness, on the other hand, gives you power. It gives you the ability to choose differently starting right now. For English learners, this awareness might look something like this. You say, I want to improve my speaking. But you never speak out loud. You say, I want better listening. But you listen once and stop. You say, I want more vocabulary. But you learn words alone, without sentences, without context. You say, I want fluency. But you never repeat. When you notice this, do not be hard on yourself. Do not attack yourself. Simply choose again. Say, today, I will speak for 1 minute. Today, I will listen one more time. Today, I will learn 5 phrases inside real sentences. Today, I will repeat 1 paragraph out loud. That is how choice becomes action. One small decision at a time. Now, here is another idea from the book that I want you to remember. No choice is truly neutral. Neutral means it does not move you forward or backward. It has no effect. But here is the truth, over time, most choices have a direction. They carry you closer to your goal, or they carry you further away. They are building something even when you cannot feel it. This might sound serious. But I want you to hear the encouraging side of this idea. Because it means you do not need a big miracle. You do not need a perfect plan or a perfect day. You just need to make the next choice slightly better than before. Not perfect. Just better. If you usually study for 0 minutes, study for 5. If you usually sleep very late, sleep 10 minutes earlier tonight. If you usually avoid speaking, say just 1 sentence out loud right now. If you usually watch videos without paying attention, repeat 3 sentences from the video. That is enough. A small improvement is still an improvement. And improvement, repeated every day, becomes transformation. Here is a key lesson I want you to carry with you. You are always building something. Every single day, you are building. You are either building skill or building excuses. Building confidence or building fear. Building discipline or building delay. Building fluency or building silence. Now, I am not saying this to make you feel guilty. I am saying this because I want you to feel the power you already have. You are not powerless. Not even close. Even today, right now, in this moment, you can choose one small action that supports the person you are becoming. So ask yourself this question, what is one small choice I can make today? Maybe it is listening to this episode again. Maybe it is repeating 5 sentences out loud. Maybe it is writing a short paragraph in English. Maybe it is putting your phone down for 20 minutes. Maybe it is drinking a glass of water. Maybe it is saying no to something that is draining your energy and your time. The choice does not need to be big. It does not need to be impressive. It just needs to be repeated. Because your future is not built by what you do once. Your future is built by what you do again and again and again. Now, let's talk about habits. A habit is something you do repeatedly, every day, every morning, every night, or every time a certain situation happens. Some habits are good. Some habits are bad. And some habits are so deeply normal that you do not even notice them anymore. Think about your own life for a moment. Brushing your teeth is a habit. Checking your phone in the morning is a habit. Drinking coffee is a habit. And this is important, saying I can't is also a habit. Practicing English every day can become a habit. But avoiding English, that can also become a habit. Both directions are possible. And both happen through repetition. Now, here is something very important that many people forget. Not all habits are physical. Some habits live inside your mind. These are called mental habits. A mental habit is a repeated way of thinking, a thought pattern that your mind returns to again and again automatically. For example, you may have the habit of worrying, the habit of comparing yourself to others, the habit of saying negative things about yourself, the habit of imagining failure before you even begin. These invisible habits shape everything. They shape your actions, your choices, and your results, because what you think determines what you do. If you always think, I am bad at English, you will avoid practice. You will feel too embarrassed to speak. You will find reasons to stop. But if you think, I can improve with repetition, you become more likely to continue, more likely to try, more likely to return after a difficult day. Your habits become your direction. In the compound effect, habits are described as powerful because they make your choices automatic. In the beginning, every good choice takes effort. You choose to listen to English. You choose to exercise. You choose to read. It takes energy. It takes will. But after repeating the same choice many times, something changes. It becomes easier, natural. Your brain stops resisting. It simply says, this is what we do now. That is the power of a good habit. But this same power can work against you. A bad habit also becomes automatic. You stop thinking. You just do it. You open social media. You delay your work. You avoid the difficult task. You speak unkindly to yourself. The bad habit feels easy because it is familiar. Because it has been repeated so many times that it no longer needs your permission. This is why we must build good habits and gently weaken the bad ones. So, how do we do that? The first step is awareness. You cannot change a habit you cannot see. So start by watching yourself. Watch your day closely. What do you do in the morning before you are fully awake? What do you do when you feel bored? When do you feel stressed? When do you feel tired? When is the day ending? Your habits appear most clearly in these moments, when your guard is down and your automatic self takes over. Stress reveals your habits. Tiredness reveals your habits. Boredom reveals your habits. For example, when you feel bored, do you reach for your phone and scroll for an hour? Or do you use that small window to practice something useful? When you feel nervous, do you speak kindly to yourself, or do you attack yourself with harsh words? When you feel tired, do you rest in a way that restores you, or do you choose something that leaves you feeling worse? Notice. Do not judge. Just notice. Observation is the beginning of change. The second step is to make good habits easy. This is where many people go wrong. They set habits that are too big, too demanding, too perfect. They say, I will read 50 pages every night. But they are tired. And after 3 nights, they stop. And then they feel like they have failed. The solution is to make the habit smaller. Much smaller. Instead of 50 pages, read 2 pages. Just 2. 2 pages are easy. 2 pages feel almost too simple. But here is the beautiful thing, many times, after reading 2 pages, you will want to continue. And even if you stop at 2 pages, you have still kept the habit alive. You have still shown up. And showing up every day, even in the smallest way, is what the compound effect is built on. For English learners, do not start with something big and overwhelming. Start with something so simple that you cannot say no. 10 minutes of listening. 5 sentences of shadowing. 1 minute of speaking. 3 new phrases. 1 short paragraph. Choose something that you can do even on your busiest, most difficult day. Because a small habit that survives every day is infinitely more powerful than a big habit that disappears after a week. The third step is to connect the new habit to something you already do. This is one of the simplest and most powerful strategies in the book. Think about your daily routine. You already do certain things every day without thinking. You make tea. You brush your teeth. You eat lunch. You go to bed. These moments, these small, ordinary moments, can become the doorway to a new habit. After you make tea, listen to English. After you brush your teeth, repeat 5 sentences out loud. After lunch, write 3 English sentences. Before sleep, listen to 1 short podcast. It does not take extra time. It does not require a new schedule. It simply uses what is already there. This works because the old habit becomes a reminder for the new one. Your brain learns the connection. After tea comes English. After lunch comes writing. Before sleep comes listening. It becomes automatic. It becomes part of the rhythm of your day. Simple, clear, and repeatable. The fourth step is to remove friction. Now, what does friction mean? Friction is anything that makes the habit harder to start. Anything that puts a small obstacle between you and the action. And even small obstacles, very small ones, can stop you from beginning. If your English materials are difficult to find, you may skip practice. If your notebook is in another room, you may not write. If your phone is full of notifications and distractions, you may not focus. These small inconveniences add up. They give your lazy brain an excuse to say, "Not today." So make the good habit easy to start. Put your notebook near your bed. Save the podcast before you go to sleep. Prepare your headphones the night before. Keep the book on your desk where you can see it. Make the very first step so simple that you have no reason to say no. And at the same time, make the bad habits harder. If social media is stealing your time, move the app to a place that is harder to reach. If your phone distracts you, put it in another room for just 20 minutes. If unhealthy snacks are sitting on your desk, remove them. You do not need perfect willpower. You just need a smarter environment. Small changes in your space can create surprisingly big changes in your behavior. The fifth step is to understand your why. This is perhaps the most personal step of all. Why do you want this habit? What is the real reason behind it? Because when the answer is strong, when it comes from somewhere deep, you continue more easily. Even on the hard days. Even when motivation disappears. Maybe you want English because you want a better job. Because you want to travel with confidence. Because you want to teach. Because you want to study abroad. Because you want to connect with people from different parts of the world. That is your why. Hold on to it. Maybe you want better health because you want energy for your family. Maybe you want to read because you want a sharper, richer mind. Whatever it is, find the real reason. Write it down. Put it somewhere you can see it. Because when you feel lazy, and you will feel lazy sometimes, we all do, the reason is what brings you back. But remember this, your reason alone is not enough. A strong why without a clear system will not take you very far. You need both. A system means a simple plan. A plan that tells you exactly when and how to act so that you do not have to make that decision every day. Do not only say, I want to improve my English. That is a wish, not a system. Say instead, every morning, after breakfast, I will listen to English for 10 minutes. That is a system. It has a time. It has a trigger. It has a clear action. And the compound effect loves systems, because systems create repetition, and repetition creates results. Now, there is one more idea about habits that I want you to carry with you. And it might be the most important one of all. Habits are connected to identity. Identity means who you believe you are. And this matters more than most people realize. Because we almost always act in ways that match the story we tell about ourselves. If you say, I am not a disciplined person, you will likely act like that. If you say, I am bad at English, you will likely avoid the very practice that could change that. The story becomes the behavior. The belief becomes the result. But here is the beautiful thing. You can change the story. You do not have to wait until you are perfect. You do not have to earn the right to believe something better about yourself. You just have to start using one powerful word. Becoming. I am becoming a better speaker. I am becoming more consistent. I am becoming a person who practices every day, even when it is hard. This language is honest and kind and powerful all at the same time. It does not pretend you are already there. It simply says, I am moving in that direction. And that movement is real. Because here is the truth, your habits are not just actions. Your habits are votes. Every time you practice, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Every time you return after a missed day, you cast a vote. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you cast a vote. And over time, those votes add up. They build a new identity. A new story. A new you. Now let's talk about one of the most practical ideas in the entire book, tracking. Tracking means writing down what you do. You observe your own behavior and you record it. Simply and honestly. You may track your money, your food, your exercise, your sleep, your screen time, or for our purposes, your English practice. Now, when people first hear about tracking, many say the same thing. It sounds boring. Or, I already know what I do. But here is what is interesting. Most of the time, we do not really know. We think we know. But when we actually track, when we write it down and look at the numbers, we often see a very different picture. Someone says, I do not spend much time on my phone. But when they check their screen time, 4 hours a day. Someone says, I study English quite often. But when they track it, 10 minutes in an entire week. Someone says, I eat quite well. But when they write everything down, many small snacks that they had completely forgotten about. Tracking shows reality. And reality, even when it surprises you, is useful. Because you cannot improve what you cannot see. You cannot change what you do not notice. And tracking is not about shame. Let me say that clearly. Tracking is not a way to punish yourself. It is not a way to say, look how bad I am. No. Tracking is simply information. Honest, clear, useful information that helps you make better choices going forward. For English learners, tracking your practice can be transformative. Start simple. Use a small notebook. Every day, write down what you did. Listening 10 minutes. Shadowing 5 minutes. Speaking 1 minute. Vocabulary 3 new phrases. Reading 1 page. That is it. Short. Simple. Honest. This small record can change your behavior in a powerful way. Why? Because when you see the numbers, when you look at what you actually did, you become more aware. You might notice, I only practiced speaking once this week. No wonder I feel stuck. Or you might see, I listened 5 days in a row. I am building something real here. Tracking makes progress visible. And this is so important because so much of real progress is invisible at first. You may listen to English every day for 2 weeks and feel like nothing is changing. Nothing is different. Nothing is better. But your tracking tells a different story. It says, you listened for 140 minutes. That happened. That is real. That is proof that you are showing up, even when it does not feel like enough. And that proof, that quiet, honest proof, builds a different kind of confidence. Not the kind based on feeling. The kind based on action. You can look at your notebook and say, I am not just wishing for better English. I am doing the work. Every day. Tracking also helps you see patterns, and patterns help you design a smarter routine. Maybe you notice that morning practice feels easy and natural, but evening practice never happens. Maybe you study more when your materials are already prepared. Maybe you skip practice on the days you sleep late. Maybe your speaking feels more confident after listening for a while. These are valuable observations. Use them. If night practice is not working, move English to the morning. If long lessons leave you tired, use shorter ones. If speaking feels too scary, make it smaller. 1 question. 1 minute. 1 sentence. Whatever keeps you moving. Tracking gives you feedback. And feedback, honest, regular feedback, is what helps you keep improving. Now, the book also reminds us of something very important. Small things add up in both directions. Small good habits add up to something wonderful. But small bad habits also add up to something we did not choose and did not notice happening. Think about coffee. 1 cup every day. Each one feels small, almost invisible. But after 1 month, it adds up. After 1 year, even more. The person never thought of it as a big expense. But tracking shows the truth. The compound effect was working, just not in the direction they wanted. Think about time. You watch one short video. Then another. Then a longer one. Each feels harmless. But after 1 week, hours have disappeared. Tracking your screen time can be genuinely surprising. Time vanishes in small, quiet pieces, and we rarely notice until we look. But the same magic works the other way. 5 minutes of English here. 10 minutes there. 15 minutes before sleep. These small pieces added together, week after week, become hours of real practice. Tracking helps you see them. Tracking helps you respect them. For English learners, Here is a simple tracking system you can start today. Use a notebook. Every day, write the date and 4 simple things. Listening, speaking, vocabulary, review. You do not need long sentences. Just numbers. Just honest, simple numbers. At the end of each week, look back. Not to judge yourself. Not to feel guilty. Simply to ask 3 questions. What worked this week? What did not work? What can I repeat or do better next week? That is it. Simple. Clear. Honest. This is powerful because improvement stops being a feeling and starts being something you can actually see. You are no longer guessing about your progress. You are observing it. And observation, quiet, regular, honest observation, is one of the most underrated tools for growth. Another method worth trying is the habit chain. A habit chain is simple. Every day that you complete your habit, you mark it on a calendar. A small check. A small cross. A small dot. Whatever you like. After a few days, you begin to see a chain forming. And something interesting happens, you do not want to break it. That unbroken chain becomes a quiet source of motivation. A visual reminder that you are showing up. That you are keeping your promise to yourself. But, and this is important, if you do break the chain, do not give up. Do not let one missed day become the reason you stop entirely. Simply restart. Put the mark back on tomorrow. Because the goal was never perfection. The goal is consistency, not for 1 week, not for 1 month, but over time. Over the long, quiet, powerful stretch of time, where the compound effect does its best work. Missing 1 day is completely normal. Missing many days because you feel too guilty to return, that is the real problem. Now, let's talk about momentum. Momentum means movement that grows stronger once it has started. In the beginning, movement is difficult. It takes real effort to begin. But once something is in motion, once it has started rolling, it becomes easier to keep going. Think about pushing a very heavy car. At first, it will not move. You push with everything you have. Slowly, very slowly, it shifts a little. You push again. It moves a little more. You keep pushing. And then something changes. The car begins to roll. And once it is rolling, it is easier to keep it moving. You still need effort. But the movement itself is now helping you. Habits work exactly the same way. In the beginning, a new habit feels difficult and unnatural. Your brain wants to return to the old way. Your body wants comfort and familiarity. Your routine is not ready yet. You forget. You resist. Some days you do not want to. But if you continue, if you push through the difficult beginning, the habit slowly becomes easier. More natural. More automatic. And then, one day, momentum arrives. This is one of the most exciting ideas in the entire compound effect. Because here is what momentum means for you. At first, your small actions feel slow and almost pointless. You listen, but nothing seems different. You repeat, but your pronunciation still feels strange. You practice, but the results seem invisible. You may think nothing is happening. But something is always happening. Quietly. Under the surface. In places you cannot yet see. And then, after enough repetition, after enough time, results begin to appear. You have more energy. You understand more English than before. You speak a little more easily. You feel a little more confident. And then those results motivate you. They encourage you to continue. Your habit grows stronger. Your momentum builds. And it begins to carry you forward almost on its own. This is momentum. And momentum, once it begins, is one of the most powerful forces in your journey. But you must start it. Nobody can start it for you. And here is the sad truth. Most people stop before momentum ever arrives. They practice for 3 days and stop. They exercise for 1 week and stop. They create content for 1 month and stop. They look at what they have done and say, this is not working. But so often, so very often, they stopped just before the results were about to appear. Just before the car began to roll. The compound effect needs time. Momentum needs time. And this is why the beginning, that slow, difficult, unglamorous beginning, is so incredibly important. The beginning is not exciting. The beginning does not feel like progress. But the beginning is where momentum is born. And everything that comes after, all the growth, all the results, all the change, begins right there, in that quite difficult, necessary start. For English learners, the first weeks of daily listening may feel very ordinary. Almost disappointing. You listen, but you still miss many words. You repeat, but your pronunciation still feels strange and uncertain. You speak, but you still pause, and search, and hesitate. This is completely normal. Do not be discouraged by it. Do not let it fool you into thinking nothing is working. You are pushing the car. Keep pushing. Because after some time, not a dramatic amount of time, just consistent time, you begin to notice small changes. You understand a phrase before you even try to translate it. A word comes to you naturally, without effort. One sentence flows a little more smoothly than before. A sound that used to confuse you suddenly becomes clear. These are not small things. These are signs of momentum. And they deserve to be celebrated. Celebration is important. Not a big, loud celebration, but quiet, honest recognition. Say to yourself, I am improving. Say, this is working. Say, I understand more today than I did last month. These simple words matter more than you think. They help your brain make a connection, the connection between practice and progress. Between effort and result. Between showing up and getting better. But momentum, as powerful as it is, can also move in the wrong direction. Bad habits have momentum too. If you skip practice 1 day, it may be fine. 1 day is 1 day. But if you skip 2 days, then 3, then a full week, something shifts. Stopping becomes easier. Returning becomes harder. The gap between you and your habit grows wider with every day you wait. The same is true in other areas of life. If you sleep late every night, late sleep slowly becomes your normal. If you complain every day, complaining becomes the natural response to everything. If you avoid speaking English, avoidance becomes your automatic reaction, and confidence quietly disappears. So be careful with negative momentum. Watch for it. And when you notice it, stop it early. Do not let it build. Do not give it time to settle in and become comfortable. If you miss 1 day, return the next day. If you missed 1 week, return today. Not Monday. Not the first day of next month. Not when you feel more ready or more motivated or more in the mood. Now. Return now. Because the best time to start again is not later. The best time to start again is the exact moment you realize you stopped. Now, connected to momentum is another idea, and that idea is routine. A routine is a repeated order of actions. A path your day follows, not because someone told you to, but because you designed it that way. For example, wake up, drink water, make tea, listen to English, and write 3 sentences. Simple. Quiet. Repeatable. When you follow the same routine every day, your brain stops needing to make so many decisions. It does not have to ask, should I do this? When should I do this? What should I do first? It simply follows the path. Automatically. Effortlessly. And this matters more than most people realize. Decision-making takes energy. Real energy. If every single morning you have to debate with yourself, should I study? What should I study? When should I start? You may feel exhausted before you even begin. The debate itself drains you. And a tired, debating mind almost always chooses comfort over effort. A routine removes the debate. It replaces the question with a simple answer. This is what I do now. For example, morning, listen to English for 10 minutes. Afternoon, repeat 5 useful sentences. Evening, speak for 1 minute about your day. That is it. 3 simple anchors in your day. No decisions required. Just follow the path. A routine creates rhythm. And rhythm, quiet, steady, daily rhythm, is what creates momentum. Now, there is one more idea in this book that I want to share with you. And I think it is one of the most reassuring ideas of all. Big results often come after a long period of no visible results. Read that again slowly. Sometimes progress is not linear. Linear means it moves in a straight line, a little better every day, in a way you can clearly see and measure. But real learning does not always work that way. Sometimes you practice for days, for weeks, for what feels like forever, and nothing seems to change. You feel stuck. You feel like you are standing still. You begin to wonder if any of this is actually working. And then, suddenly, something becomes easier. A door opens. Something clicks. This happens because the learning was always happening. Quietly. Under the surface. In places your conscious mind could not yet see or feel. Think about ice in a very cold room. You slowly begin to warm that room. For a long time, nothing visible happens. The ice still looks like ice. It still feels like ice. But the temperature is changing. Degree by degree. Moment by moment. And then, at a certain point, the ice begins to melt. It looks sudden. It feels sudden. But it was not sudden at all. The change had been building slowly, invisibly, all along. English learning works in exactly the same way. You listen and listen. You repeat and repeat. You practice and practice. At first, you still feel slow. You still feel behind. But one day, without warning, you understand more than you expected. You answer faster than before. A phrase comes out of your mouth naturally, without thinking. It feels sudden. But it was not sudden. It was the result of all the invisible work you did on all the days when nothing seemed to be happening. So trust the invisible work. Keep going even when you cannot see the results yet. The results are coming. They are already building under the surface, where you cannot see them yet. Now let's talk about another important idea in the compound effect, and that is environment. The environment means everything around you. The people in your life. The places you spend your time in. The messages you receive. The information you consume every day. Your environment is not just a background to your life. It is an active force. It shapes your thoughts. It shapes your habits. It shapes your choices. It shapes your standards, meaning what you believe is normal, acceptable, and possible. Most people believe that change is simply a matter of willpower, of forcing yourself, of deciding hard enough. And yes, willpower can help. But willpower alone is not enough. Because if your environment is constantly pulling you in the wrong direction, if it is full of noise and distraction and bad habits and negative voices, then every single day becomes a battle. And battles are exhausting. But when your environment supports your goals, when it is designed to make good habits easy and natural, change stops feeling like a fight. It starts feeling almost effortless. Think about your workspace. If your desk is messy, your phone is nearby and buzzing with notifications, and your English materials are buried somewhere difficult to find, practice becomes hard. The effort begins before you even start. But if your headphones are already prepared, your podcast is saved and ready, your notebook is open on the desk in front of you, and your phone is in another room, practice becomes easy. The first step is already done for you. Small changes in your environment can create surprisingly large changes in your behavior. Never underestimate this. Your people's environment is just as powerful, perhaps even more so. The people around you shape you in ways you may not even notice. Their habits become familiar. Their words become normal. Their energy becomes the air you breathe. If the people around you are always negative, negativity starts to feel natural. If they always complain, complaining becomes the default response to difficulty. If they waste time easily and without guilt, wasting time starts to feel acceptable. If they laugh at your dreams and your goals, you may begin to feel smaller, to doubt yourself, to shrink. But the opposite is also true. If the people around you are focused, kind, disciplined, and genuinely growing, growth starts to feel normal. You see what is possible. You feel encouraged. You become more serious about your own journey without anyone having to push you. This does not mean you need to leave everyone behind. It does not mean you judge the people in your life harshly. It simply means this: protect your mind. Be thoughtful about who and what you allow to influence you. Choose your influences carefully, because your influences quietly become your thoughts, and your thoughts quietly become your life. And your phone is also an environment. Social media is an environment. YouTube is an environment. Podcasts are an environment. Books are an environment. Everything you consume every day becomes part of the landscape of your mind. If you fill that landscape with angry content, your mind may become angrier. If you fill it with fear, your mind may become more fearful. If you fill it with ideas, learning, and language, your mind becomes richer, more capable, more alive. So ask yourself honestly, without judgment, what am I feeding my mind every day? What is entering my thoughts, my ears, and my attention hour after hour? This is one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself. For English learners, your environment can do much of the learning for you if you design it well. Change your phone language to English if you can. Turn on English subtitles sometimes, even for content you enjoy. Save English podcasts so they are always ready. Follow pages and channels that teach you something useful. Keep a small phrase notebook nearby, on your desk, beside your bed, in your bag. Listen to easy English while you walk, cook, or rest. Make English visible in the small spaces of your ordinary day. Because here is the goal: make English part of your environment, not just part of your study time. If English only appears when you sit down to formally study, it will always feel like work. It will always require effort and decision. But if English appears quietly and naturally throughout your day, in small, gentle, repeated doses, your brain receives more contact, more exposure. And the more exposure you have, the more natural English begins to feel. The more it becomes part of you, not something you study, but something you live with. This is the compound effect of the environment. Tiny exposures, repeated every day, add up to something remarkable. Another idea worth remembering is this: sometimes you do not need more motivation. Sometimes what you need is less. Less distraction. Less noise. Less drama. Less comparison. Less content that leaves you feeling empty or anxious or behind. Comparison is especially worth watching. It is one of the quietest and most dangerous thieves of confidence. You see someone who speaks English more fluently. Someone who seems more advanced, more successful, more put together than you. And your mind immediately says, "I am behind. I am not good enough. I am too slow." But here is what you are not seeing. You are not seeing their full journey. You are seeing the result, not the years of work behind it. Not the mistakes. Not the confusion. Not the days when they also wanted to give up. Use other people as inspiration, not as punishment. When you see someone who speaks English beautifully, let it remind you of what is possible. Let it be said to you, this is where practice leads. This is what consistency looks like. If someone is skilled, confident, or fluent, say to yourself, this is proof that habits work. That is the right interpretation. And interpretation, the meaning you give to what you see, matters more than the thing itself. The book also teaches that your associations, the people you spend real time with, have enormous power. Some people lift you up. Some people drain you. Some people make discipline feel natural. Some people make distraction feel normal. Some people genuinely believe in your growth. Some people, perhaps without even meaning to, make you doubt it. You cannot always choose every person in your life. But you can choose how much influence each person has. You can choose who you truly listen to. Whose opinions you take seriously. Whose voice do you allow to shape how you see yourself? And you can choose to spend more of your time, your precious, limited, compound effect time, with the people, books, and content that support the future you are building. For many people, books become mentors. Podcasts become mentors. Teachers become mentors. A good environment is not always about the people physically around you. It can be a mental environment built through what you read, what you hear, and what you choose to practice every day. This is why Repeat English Lab to 85 can become a real part of your environment. If you listen regularly, if you make it a small, consistent part of your daily life, you are surrounding your mind with simple English, clear ideas, useful repetition, and genuine encouragement. That is nothing. That matters. A podcast listened to consistently, day after day, can become one of the most positive and powerful small influences in your English journey. Your physical space matters too. If you want to practice piano, keep the piano open and ready, not hidden away in a corner. If you want to read, keep the book somewhere visible. Somewhere that catches your eye. If you want to study English, keep your notebook and your audio materials ready and easy to reach. If you want to exercise, prepare your clothes the night before. Remove the obstacles before they have a chance to stop you. Make the good action visible. Make it easy. Make it the path of least resistance. Because we almost always choose what is easiest. So make the right thing the easy thing. Now, let us bring everything together. The Compound Effect is a book about small choices. About what happens when you repeat those small choices consistently, over a long period of time. It teaches us something that sounds simple, but takes real courage to believe and to live. Success is not usually one big event. It is not one lucky moment. It is not one perfect plan that suddenly changes everything. Real, lasting success, the kind that stays with you, comes from small daily actions. Quiet actions. Unglamorous actions. Actions that no one sees and no one applauds. Actions that feel almost too small to matter. But that, repeated day after day, builds something extraordinary. This message is especially important right now because so many people are waiting. Waiting for motivation to arrive. Waiting for confidence to appear. Waiting for the perfect time. Waiting for conditions to be just right. But here is the truth that the Compound Effect asks you to face honestly. While you wait, time is passing. The same time that could have been building something is passing. The Compound Effect says this: start small. Start now. Do not wait for perfect conditions, they are never coming. Do not wait until you feel completely ready, you may never feel completely ready. Do not wait until life becomes easy, life rarely becomes easy. Choose one small action today. One small, honest, imperfect action that moves you slightly closer to the person you want to become. And then repeat it. Tomorrow. And the day after. If your goal is English, listen today. Speak today. Repeat today. Write today. Even if it is only 5 minutes. Even if you are tired. Even if it does not feel like enough. Do it anyway. Because 5 minutes is nothing. 5 minutes, repeated every single day, is not a small thing. 5 minutes is a vote. A vote for your future self. A vote for the person you are slowly, quietly, powerfully becoming. And this is true for every goal, not just English. If your goal is health, make one healthy choice today. Just one. Not a perfect day. One choice. If your goal is money, save a little today. Even a small amount. Even an amount that feels almost embarrassing. Save it. If your goal is writing, write one paragraph today. One honest, imperfect paragraph. If your goal is confidence, do one small thing today that makes you a little uncomfortable. One thing that scares you just enough to remind you that you are growing. Small actions matter. Not because each one is powerful on its own, but because of what they are building beneath the surface. Every time you practice, you are saying something to yourself. You are saying, I am a person who practices. Every time you return after a missed day, you are saying, I am a person who comes back. I do not quit. I do not stay down. I return. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, you are building something that cannot be bought or borrowed or faked. You are building self-trust. Self-trust is one of the most valuable and most underrated gifts of consistency. It is quiet. It does not announce itself. But over time, when you keep showing up, when you keep doing what you said you would do, something shifts inside you. You begin to believe in yourself. Not just in your goals. In yourself. You say, with genuine certainty, I can count on myself. I do what I say I will do. And that feeling, that quiet, unshakable feeling, is one of the most powerful things a person can possess. Because here is a truth that many people are uncomfortable hearing. Most people do not need more information. They already know what to do. They know they should practice English. They know they should exercise. They know they should save money, read more, and sleep earlier. They know. What they need, what so many of us need, is more follow-through. Follow-through means doing what you said you would do. Not when conditions are perfect. Not when motivation is high. Not when you feel inspired and energized and ready. But on ordinary days. The tired days. The busy days. The days when nothing feels exciting and everything feels hard. Those are the days that count most. Those are the days when the compound effect is truly built. The compound effect is not built on big promises. It is built on kept promises. Small, quiet, unglamorous, kept promises. So remember this. Write it down if you need to. Say it to yourself when you feel tempted to wait for something bigger or better or easier. Small promises kept are better than big promises broken. For English learners, this sentence is everything. Do not promise yourself, I will become fluent in 1 month. That promise is too big, too vague, and too easy to break. Promise instead, I will listen for 10 minutes today. And then listen. Do not promise, I will memorize 1000 words. Promise, I will learn 5 useful phrases today, and I will use them in real sentences. Do not promise, I will speak perfectly. Promise, I will speak for 1 minute. Out loud. Right now. Today. And then keep the promise. That is it. That is the whole game. Now, the book also teaches something that I want you to hold on to, especially on the days when nothing seems to be working. Results are often delayed. Delayed means they come later, not never, but later. And this is why patience is not optional. Patience is necessary. It is part of the process. It is built into the design of the compound effect. You may not see results today. But today is still important. You may not feel any different after one practice session. But that one session is part of the chain. One day is part of the week. 1 week is part of the month. 1 month is part of the year. One sentence, spoken imperfectly, nervously, quietly, is part of fluency. You are building something. Even right now. Even when you cannot see it. Even when you cannot feel it. Even when it seems like nothing is happening at all. Your brain needs time to absorb English. Your ears need time to become familiar with the sounds. Your mouth needs time to learn the rhythms and the patterns. Your confidence needs time to grow from something fragile into something solid and real. None of this happens in a day. None of it should. But every time you listen, your brain receives more English. Every time you repeat, your mouth practices the movements and the music of the language. Every time you speak, your confidence grows. Not dramatically, not visibly, but it grows. A little more each time. Like a seed receiving water. At first, the change is quiet. Almost invisible. You look for it and you cannot find it. But it is there. Working. Building. Slowly, steadily, faithfully beneath the surface. And then one day, it becomes visible. So do not stop during the quiet stage. The quiet stage is not a sign that nothing is happening. The quiet stage is where the most important work is being done. It is where the compound effect is most active, quietly, invisibly, powerfully building the foundation of everything that is coming. Trust the quiet stage. Keep going through it. Keep showing up. Keep practicing. Keep returning. Keep choosing, one small choice at a time, the person you want to become. And with that, my friends, we have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you. Truly, thank you for listening, for staying, for giving your time and your attention to your own growth. That is not a small thing. That is a choice. And now you know what repeated choices create. I hope this episode helped you understand the ideas of the compound effect in simple, clear English. I hope it gave you not just knowledge, but a feeling. A feeling that you can do this. That is small enough. That today is enough. That you are enough right now, exactly as you are, with exactly the time and energy you have. Listen to this episode again if you can. The first time, you understand the message. The second time, you notice the vocabulary, the words and phrases that carry the ideas. The third time, you can shadow the sentences. You can speak along, practice the rhythm, and feel the language in your mouth. Each time you listen, you receive something new. That is the compound effect of listening. Keep listening. Keep repeating. Keep speaking. Your English grows through small daily practice. Your confidence grows through small daily actions. Your future, the future you are building right now, today, with every small choice, grows through small daily decisions. And remember this, always. Small steps are not small when you repeat them for a long time. Thank you for being part of Repeat English Lab 285. Keep going, my friends. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.